Cheating. Plenty of people cheat. Whether you're cheating on a test so you can have an easier time passing class, or injecting a fuckload of steroids into your body to perform well in competition. Although there are many reasons for cheating, at the end of the day, someone who is cheating cheats with the intent of looking good. Speedrunning is no exception when it comes to cheating. As of recently, speedrunning has started to become more mainstream, so more competition and hype is surrounding it. However, even before speedrunning, there was cheating in video games. I mean, just look at Billy Mitchell for example. He cheated in Donkey Kong years ago to achieve that absurd score. Another famous example of cheating in video games was when after a long time, people found out that Todd Rogers had cheated his time in Drags. Now, although every game has its own respective rules, there are a few common methods used to cheat any speedrun. First of all, you can splice a run together. Splicing a run means that you segment the run and then combine all the segments together as if it were one run. The advantage of this is that you can grind out a segment until you get it down perfectly and then go on to the next segment. Now, plenty of people splice runs, but they are used as demonstrations to demonstrate a game's limit. However, what some people will do is splice runs together and edit it very well so they can pass it off as a one segment run. So how are verifiers supposed to catch spliced runs? Well, there are multiple ways. It just depends on the speedrun that is being spliced. If a speedrun is poorly spliced, the verifiers can tell based on audio or based on the clips themselves having noticeable splices. However, if a run is spliced well, verifiers can figure out that a run is spliced based on the game's respected game mechanics. Which leads me to explain the next method of cheating in speedruns: taking advantage of game mechanics. Now let's say hypothetically, you are going to splice a speedrun for Super Mario Bros. In Super Mario Bros, there are things called frame rules. Frame rules are a bit complicated, but I'll try my best to word it simply. A frame rule is an increment of 0.35 seconds or 20 run frames. So let's say you reach the end of a level, but you're a frame late within reaching a 21 frame window. That means you have to wait another 20 frames before moving on to the next level. Within frame rules, there are set patterns for enemies within frame rules. For example, on a certain frame rule, Bowser can throw this pattern of hammers. However, if this is different, then Bowser will throw a different pattern of hammers. Things like these are useful to verifiers because they can see if the frame rules match up or not. It's impossible for frame rules to match up perfectly if a run is spliced together, so when verifiers see that the frame rules don't add up, they can tell the run is cheated. However, you can take advantage of in-game mechanics without splicing a run together. This would only be useful for speedruns that have a little bit of luck in them, like Minecraft or Pokemon, where you can go into the files of the game and change the probability of things so that you aren't unlucky. The most infamous case of this happening is when Dream allegedly changed drop rates to work in his favor. His run was removed off of the speedrun leaderboards, but it's not 100% proven whether or not he actually cheated to this day. Now, it seems like you need a lot of game knowledge and editing skills to cheat a speedrun, and this statement is correct. Most people who actually cheat speedruns are people who are surprisingly skilled at the game they are cheating at. Now, why would someone who is already good at the game cheat their speedrun? Well, there could be multiple reasons, but just because someone is already good, they generally intend to seem better than they actually are when cheating. Cheating speedruns nowadays is very difficult, but there's always a possibility of a cheated run getting onto the leaderboards. Let's take a look at Super Mario Odyssey, a game that I personally speedrun at a top level. Super Mario Odyssey has never had any major cases of cheating, other than funny comedians submitting the world record. What would it take to cheat this speedrun? Well, for starters, you'd have to splice whenever the screen fades for black, so the splice isn't noticeable. Second of all, in the rules, it states that all runs require video proof with audio, so the audio has to match up and be in sync as if you were actually playing the game in one sitting. Finally, you'd have to be very careful of game mechanics. Sure, there aren't frame rules like Super Mario Bros, but every game has its niche you need to look out for. In Odyssey, the biggest indicator of the run being spliced is the coin counter. It's very hard to splice a run and have the coin counter add up the entire time. If you're splicing a run, it could be very easy to slip up and have different coin counters when coming out of loading zones. This is why it's required that the coin count is fully visible throughout the entire run so that there are no sudden changes. The final metric for splicing what would be an almost perfect cheated speedrun is just common sense. Even if you were to splice a speedrun that looks almost perfect, it still won't get accepted unless you have a story behind your run. What does this mean? Well, if that's your first submitted run, nobody is going to believe you. But let's say you've been playing for a while and then got this crazy run. Then it would seem a little bit more believable. Also, there are a couple of tricks in a run that aren't viable, so it wouldn't make sense for the verifiers to just verify that. when nobody has shown signs of performing all of these tricks flawlessly in a run. I just wanted to make this video to sort of shed a little bit of light on cheating and speedrunning, as it's definitely an interesting topic. Let me know if I should make more videos like this in the future, and no, I am not a cheater. I stream speedrunning content and more on my Twitch almost every day, and my other socials are linked down below. Thanks for watching.